You know, the internet is a pretty wild place. There's so much amazing stuff out there, but let's be honest, there are a lot of threats too. So the big question is, how do we protect ourselves? Well, today we're going to break down one of the most fundamental security tools ever created, the firewall.
To really get this, let's think about it like this. Imagine all your personal data, your computers, your phone. Imagine all of that is your own digital kingdom. How in the world do you protect your castle from everything and everyone lurking outside?
So here's our game plan for today. First, we're going to really define what this digital castle is. Then we'll meet the guard who's protecting it, the firewall, and check out its official rulebook. After that, we'll dive into a couple of different defense strategies and figure out the absolute best way to keep your kingdom safe and sound. Let's get into it.
Okay, so what is this digital castle we're talking about? I want you to really picture your home network, or maybe your office network, every single device connected to it, your computer, your phone, that smart TV, all of it together forms your own personal fortress.
Now this fortress, it's got these super strong walls, right? And they're protecting all the valuable stuff you have inside, your photos, your documents, everything. But just like a real castle, it's got one main gate, a single point of entry and exit. That gate is your internet connection. And that's exactly the spot we need to guard.
So, to protect that main gate, you need a guard, right? A really vigilant one, whose entire job is to keep that castle safe. And in our digital world, that guard is the firewall.
The firewall's mission is actually crystal clear. It literally stands right in between your private, trusted network and the big, public, untrusted internet. And from that position, it inspects every little piece of data, every packet that tries to come in or go out.
So when you boil it all down, a firewall is basically just a security filter. It doesn't matter if it's software running on your laptop or a physical box like your router. Its job is to enforce a set of rules, deciding what data is safe and what's got to be blocked.
Okay, but how does our Garrett actually make these calls? I mean, it's not just guessing, it follows a very, very specific and strict rulebook. Let's take a look at how that actually works.
Think of every single data packet as a visitor showing up with an ID card. The firewall, our guard, takes one look at that card and asks 4 key questions. First, source IP. All right, where are you from? Second, destination IP. Okay, who are you here to see inside the castle? Third, port number. Which specific door are you trying to use? Because you know, the door for browsing websites is totally different from the door for email. And finally, protocol. What language are you speaking? Just to make sure it's a legit request.
And a simple rule like this can be incredibly powerful. This one basically says, hey, let anyone from the outside world come in through the main gate, port 443, to look at my secure website. But the most important part is what's not said. Deny everything else. This is a core security idea called default deny. If a rule doesn't explicitly say yes, the answer is automatically no.
All right, so these digital guards, they're not all the same. They actually come in a couple of different forms. Let's break down the 2 main types of defense: software versus hardware.
On one hand, you've got a software firewall. This is just a program running on your computer, like Windows Defender. Think of it as a personal bodyguard for that one device. It protects you wherever you go. Then you've got the hardware firewall. This is a physical device. Your Wi-Fi router is a perfect example that protects your entire network all at once. It's the main guard at the castle wall, your first line of defense for every single device you own.
Okay, we're going to get a little more technical now, but don't worry, we're sticking with our castle analogy. See, not all guards are created equal. Some of them have an amazing memory, and some, well, they're a bit forgetful. This is the difference between what we call stateful and stateless firewalls.
So, a stateless firewall. That's our forgetful guard. Seriously, it has zero memory. It looks at every single data packet like it's the first time it's ever seen it, checks its ID against the rules, and that's it. No context. But a stateful firewall, that's our smart guard. It has a memory. It keeps track of entire conversations. It knows that you just asked a website for information, so it's actively expecting a reply. This makes it way, way smarter and much more secure.
This pretty much sums up how the stateless guard thinks. It's basically saying this every single time. Even if a data packet is part of a conversation you started a millisecond ago, the guard has already forgotten. Every packet is a total stranger and has to be checked from square one.
But the stateful guard? Oh, it's a totally different story. It remembers you. It remembers the conversation you started. So when the reply comes back from that server, it says, "Ah, yes, I was waiting for you. Come on in." It knows what's legit and what's not, making it smarter, faster, and a whole lot safer.
So we've got different kinds of guards, and some are clearly smarter than others. What does all this actually mean for you in the real world? Well, it all comes together when we talk about building your best defense.
Look, the big takeaway here is actually really simple. You need to use both. Your hardware firewall, that's your router, is the main guard for your whole castle, protecting every device connected to your network. But that software firewall on your laptop, that's your personal bodyguard. It's an absolutely essential second layer of defense, especially when you take your laptop outside the castle walls to a coffee shop or an airport.
At the end of the day, a firewall is that silent, vigilant guard that's always on duty, protecting your digital castle. You've got a fortress full of valuable things. So, I'll just leave you with this one thought. Is your guard on duty right now?